Hi, I'm Beth Bonness, host of the Thought Echoes podcast, where we explore how we engage with our thoughts and appreciate their ripple effects and entanglements, especially with those we love and interact with the most. In this episode, I have a spirited conversation with author, translator, folklorist, and certified kimono consultant, Hiroko Yoda. We talk about her latest book, 8 Million Ways to Happiness. It's for people looking for meaning in the modern world, but not wanting to lock themselves into any specific faith. But rather, she encourages us to focus on gratitude. Listen as Hiroko shares the limitless ways to show our gratitude every day. I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello, Hiroko. I'm so glad to finally get a chance to meet you and talk to you about your wonderful new book, 8 Million Ways to Happiness. And you're in Tokyo and I'm out here in Portland. So you're sunny and we're very rainy and cloudy.
Yes, it's the opposite side of the world.
Yeah.
Yes.
So can you let everybody know kind of what was the impetus for writing the book? I know you started with a story about your mom, but can you talk about why you wrote this book now?
Well, why I wrote a book and then why I decided the contents are two separate things, actually. I have been interested in always Japanese culture, traditions, and its spirituality. And I wrote three books. I mean, co-authored with my husband, co-authored three books, trilogy of one is yokai, the Japanese folkloric monster. And the two is ninja. And then the three is yure, the Japanese ghost. The reasons why we wrote those books is just because those three things are closely ties to Japanese tradition and culture. So it was actually kind of matter of course to make me think that I'd like to write about kami. Kami are spiritual beings in Japanese. But the thing is, it's a spirituality. It's a huge subject. And then that those trilogy of the books, the yokai, ninja, and yure, it's called a survival guide. Okay, it's called a survival guide, and also has the manga like drawings. So you can't do that with with a spiritual being kami just because there's a concept in Japan that yaoyorozu no kami. And then again, the kami means spiritual being. And yaoyorozu no kami means 8 million spiritual beings. And then the 8 billion here, it's not the exact number. It means many, infinite. So you can't do infinite number of drawings. You just can't do that. And then once again, and also, and I thought, wow, this is about basically a humanity, a huge subject. So it needs the time and then to think about. And then also I needed to study the research, and that's why I wrote the book about Japanese spirituality. The reasons and why the contents was my mother's about my healing journey after my mother's passing was just because parents' death or the death of loved ones are everybody's subject. And then in fact, I didn't I didn't start my healing journey. It just from spirituality. It was just sheer my grief, 100% grief. But later on, I realized it helped me a lot. That's one. And two is that I found through my journey, I found so many things that I actually could share to anyone in the world. Even though I'm Japanese, so I can offer only Japanese things. But even though the I found the things I experienced, the Japanese things, quote unquote, but not it's just basically relevant to anyone and not just Japanese people. And that is why I wrote this book, and that is why I wrote it in English, which is my foreign language.
Well, and I know that the blurb for the book talks about how you've got a Japanese spiritual landscape, but what delighted me was that you were looking at it, as you said, for humanity in these broad terms. And I think especially for people who are questing, looking on a quest to find meaning, but don't want to get locked into a certain religion, or may shy away from, oh, here's just another religion
Mhm.
that I'm going to be, information is going to be shared with. And so it's broader. It's like it gives you permission to embrace the cultural aspect of Japan, of the Japanese, when you know that it's so tied into the spirituality, that goes
Mhm.
with the culture. So,
Yes,
um, I,
the concept of the Yaoyorozu no Kami, the 8 million spiritual beings, 8 million kami, is that the kami belongs to nature, and in nature, it's just not limited to Japan; it's all over the world.
Mhm.
And in times of old, the Japanese people thought that everything surrounding them has a spirit, had a spirit. The sun, the moon. There's a beautiful moon last night.
oh, it was
Just in this
gorgeous. It was
moment.
gorgeous here. Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes. That kind of feeling awe is Japanese spirituality.
Mm.
And that's not limited to Japanese people. When you see something beautiful in the nature, you feel spiritual. And that's what we were talking about here.
Mhm.
Anyway, the land, the rock, I mean, even the words they spoke. And in that concept, it's still it's pretty much active today in Japan, but not necessarily mean that we believe they will worship those things, but that's how we see things. We sense it that way. And it's our worldview. And in that term, it comes from Shinto, but it's much bigger than that. It's our worldview. And then that's something that we can share. It's just because it's we talk about the nature here.
Mhm. There's a reverence through, I mean, in looking at the threads as I read the book,
Mhm.
there's a reverence for, um, this being part of something larger in looking at the natural world. And there was such a, ongoing thread of gratitude for the small
Mhm.
as part of something larger.
Yes.
And you can be in awe with, I mean, with the moon last night. And I just kept saying, look at the moon, look at the moon. It was
It's
so
beautiful.
bright. It was so bright
Yes,
and so
beautiful.
big.
Yes.
And that's something very small, but it is just, it's like a doorway or a portal into, the natural world, that it wasn't
Yes.
something on television, or it was just, very special in being able to experienced that with my husband, and now you've had it. I sent my granddaughters,
Yes.
who are up in Seattle. It's like, look at the moon, look at the moon.
Yes.
Just a connection point. So, I
Yeah,
just, it was all woven throughout the book, which I enjoyed.
yes, absolutely. And then and also it's interesting. Okay, you said television. Okay, so I can make it spiritual feeling with the television because that's how we see it. Because you just okay, we sit down and see the television, TV. It's a man-made object.
Mhm.
But when you started seeing that, okay, how you feel, you enjoying it, and that's if you start enjoying it, let's start kind of makes you think, that the TV said it's kind of be part of your life. That's
Right.
one. But when you look at it, that there's a people out there who create the TV set.
Mhm.
There's a factory line. Every individual have a life. And there's a parts, right? And then those parts didn't come from anywhere. There's this, they brought it in. They some kind of craft, the craft work with it. It's a nutshell of something. You can see it, the web of connections. And then so even with a tiny TV set, if you look at it in a different way, and it's just a little bit broaden your eyes,
Mhm.
the broaden your mind, and you can see the web of connections. Well, I wrote in my book that Japanese people say itadakimasu every time we have a meal, and itadakimasu means grammatically means humbly accept. So that means there's no subject. So it is you who fill in the blank.
Mhm.
I humbly accept what?
Mhm.
Okay. So say I have banana today. Okay. It's this morning. And it's itadakimasu. I humbly accept banana.
Mhm.
But I also accept that, the banana, it's not banana didn't come out of the blue or out of the air. Somebody grew it. And then in order to grow the banana, you need a good soil. In order to create a good soil, you need a sun. You need, the plenty amount of water, and then now we are talking about the environmental issue. And I would humbly accept that too. And then also, I bought this supermarket. So somebody, that brought this in the supermarket, and then it really nicely arranged, this is the today's the price is like what the couple dollars or something. I mean, it's not dollars, but yen, but still. So you can see it, and then all of a sudden, it's just a banana, but it's something. It gives you a sense of belongingness, society or nature, and then just everything else. It just infinite ways, and so that is why I titled my book 8 Million Ways to Happiness, because it's infinite number of ways to happiness. Everybody can find their own, and it has to be one, because there's additive. There's always room for more, and as long as it makes you feel joy, happy, it's golden. And
that's a great perspective. Can you talk about? I was also fascinated by your folklorist and then the kimono consultant, which I'm going to wait until the end. Everybody's going to have to wait until the end to talk about that.
Yes.
But can you talk about the folklorist you did with the trilogy that you wrote with your husband? But can you talk about how that influenced how you put this book together with that background, rather than just being a non-folklorist? You had that as a background, so that had to influence how you chose to tell the stories that you did within the
Yes. The yoga is actually is a plain simple that we published in 2008, and until then, by then Japan was just had exported almost everything. I mean, the cards, Pokemon, the game software, and everything. But the concept of yokai wasn't exported. It's just everybody in Japan, everybody knew, elderly, young kids, the middle aged, everybody knew that what yokai was, because it's connected to our folklore and the legends and stories. And so, of course, the depth of the knowledge varies. I was interested in, so I I knew a lot, but still, even like my father, for example, knew it, even though he didn't really care much, but still he heard. But once you step out of Japan, nobody knew. But the thing is that the game softwares were out already. So the kids in the world, kids in America, saw Japanese yoga. Okay? So I wanted to give them kind of bones. And so, okay, this is not just a character or a copyrighted character for some game companies or toy companies. It's actually the origin are from Japanese folklore. Pokemon, it's a of course the Pokemon is a copyrighted, 100% characters, but the concept, the little tiny flower started talking. In reality, the flower doesn't have eyes and mouth and just start talking. But no, but the concept is coming from our folklore and in traditions and long in history, and then so that's why I wanted to write about it. Then just ninja is just like, well, the ninja is a totally opposite. Everybody knew ninja in the world. And when at the time when I got on the internet and I searched the word in the outcome, the search, outcome, the number of the outcome, the search, the outcome, it's just like way more than the word sushi. And it's amazing. It's amazing. But the ninja, at the time, the outside world means it's ninja, Ninja, like a turtle, ninja turtle, eating pizza, or just running around in New York in the black, the outfit, or just it's a crazy, doing a crazy stunt. It's some kind of a Hollywood stunt. If that's not ninja that we knew, and then also ninja is actually the historical figure, and I wanted to do that. And then so because we did yure, because we did ninja, So that was kind of natural choice for us to bring the ghost, the yure, just because the yure is also part of the Japanese folklore, and then there are if you know the background of the old tales of yure, the ghost, and then you would enjoy the classic the arts like kabuki, no play, and then just things like that. So that's why I decided to bring those three.
With one of the questions I wanted to ask too was in translating
Mhm.
often from one language to another, even when somebody knows both languages, there's not one word in one language is not translatable.
Mhm.
And there's one guy I worked with when I was in corporate, and his wife, he was French, his wife was French, but she was Portuguese, and they knew like three or four languages. And so he said
Wow.
when she was with her sisters, they
Mhm.
would move from language to language
Fascinating.
just easily, but
Mhm.
part of the reason for making the shift to another language was there wasn't a word in whatever language they started talking in, so they would go grab it from, a different language,
Yes.
which just fascinated me that you'd know four languages in the first place. But so in terms of trying to take kind of the folklore that was in Japan and take
Mhm.
the Japanese and your translation skills, how did that work when you had some concepts that were really there was nothing in English
Mhm.
to be able to describe it. So how did you go about trying to make that translation?
Yes, so yeah, but my background is a localization, yes, the translations, and I worked a lot um, to the localization process, especially in entertainment, the product, and and yeah, and then through my the work experience, the based on my expertise, I think what is important is to know not to translate. That it is as you said, that there's so many. There are words out there. It just cannot translate A to B, A to B, because the language is closely ties to culture.
Mhm.
So yeah, kami, for example, the spiritual being that I've seen, at the many, the many areas that the kami is translated into God, God. Even the kami is not God. Even you write it in a small g, and then it multiplies gods,
Mhm.
but the word God is it's for the Judeo-Christian concept. So when you started talking about our culture and with you by using gods and or a god, and it's automatically it's a skew toward the Judeo-Christian mindset, which is totally different, because we had, like I said, we have infinite number. And then also, not only just infinite number, there's no hierarchy among spiritual beings. I mean, there are so many, and even there are kami of plague. There's a kami of poverty. There's even kami of toothache. That we, okay. The thing is, like, we don't worship or anything, but it's a but that they do exist. No matter how we wish that they don't exist, I wish just to go away or whatever. But but they exist. So so that concept, 8 million kami, that that it's 8 million spiritual beings. It's quietly reminding us that those things still even exist. So we have to deal with it. So it's everything is equal in existence, and that's totally different. You can explain to me, much better than me, but the God is a top, and then you have a faith. You know what you have, you worship it, and then so it's a different thing. So that's why there are so many words that word when you talk not just Japanese spirituality, but still, I mean, because my book is about Japanese spirituality. there are so many terms that I just could not
Mhm.
replace it with English words. So I left Japanese as is. And then also I made sure to define them and then explain them. And then so that all of my readers can follow what I'm talking about.
Mm. Since this is about thought echoes, and I often
Hmm.
talk about the ripple effect of our echo, our thoughts and our actions and our words and all of that, there's a ritual aspect, the thank you or comparable of that in terms of the everyday. Can you
Hmm.
speak to how the everyday rituals in Japanese culture kind of are passed down generation to generation and how that kind of ripples through daily life?
Yeah, well, so because your podcast titles are the thought echoes, and then you talk about it, you said that about the words. So I'd like to say words. There's a concept called kotodama. It's a word spirit, and yeah,
Of course, of
yeah,
course.
of course, because it's everything, right? It's even number, so it's of course, yeah, and it's an old concept because people knew back in time already that how powerful words can be, and then negative words makes you uncomfortable. That angry words make you angrier, and then so like in my case, like, I try not to say negative words. Try not to say because my ears, I'm the first person to hear, closest person to hear because of my ears is close to my mouth, and then because of that, and then and it in fact, like my parents, especially my father, said that it just be be positive, not positive, but just not say anything negative. But of course, we are all human being, and
Mhm.
then all the the we all that our life is just up and downs. Of course, difficult times and the angry moments. It's just part of the life.
Mhm.
And so it's not doesn't mean that not to say negative words or whatever. It's just it's not bottling up. It just if if you know that those angry words or negative words are makes you uncomfortable or make your loved ones or friends
Mhm.
uncomfortable, and if you can handle it, that you can keep them in. And then it's not like a black and white issue. Just like, okay, you can't say it or you cannot, you say it kind of thing. It's not like that. It just depends on the situations. If you and then it's just try it. Like so when I say negative words or something, and I was like to myself or whatever, I open the windows afterwards. Just let the fresh breathe, the breathe in. Just negative feelings and negative that's gonna go out of the window. It's just it just refresh myself and then just start.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
think it works for me.
Yeah.
And
And
then
I
and then so
I
that's it.
think we talk about, healthy lifestyle, which is exercise and what you eat and what you drink and whatnot. I
Hmm.
think that people don't appreciate that what we take into our um, brains, our psyche, in the form
Hmm.
of talking to somebody, listening to somebody, what we read, what we watch, that
Hmm.
all of that has an impact on our physical well-being
Yes.
too.
Yes.
But people are quick to you know, spout their opinions and not really paying attention to
Hmm.
what the impact might be.
Yes.
And nobody's perfect. And like you said, you're not gonna,
Yes.
always talk positive or reframe everything as positive. But I think having an appreciation for the ripple effect that what you say
Yes.
matters, even in instances when you don't think somebody's listening or it does matter,
Hmm.
that there may be, an impact. So I think just that awareness can help.
Yes. And also I like the word thank you, especially, and then I like the word in arigato in Japanese too, because arigato, when you write it down in we have three the writing characters, and then the one is kanji. It's called
Mhm.
complicated, the many strokes and stuff. Anyway, when you write arigato in that kanji characters, the grammar literally means it's rare to happen. So it's just anything, anything is just that reminds you. that you can't take everything granted. Like say, for example, I'm talking to you right now. It's just I didn't make it happen. That my publisher, the show my interest, it showed their interest to
Mhm.
my book, to my
Mhm.
proposal.
Right.
And then they took it and then, decided to publish it. And then the publicist, that they contacted you, you showed interest. And then, now we're doing it, Zoom. That's somebody's invention. I didn't do it.
Right.
We didn't do it. And then so just everything, it's outcome of the web of connections.
Mhm.
And I know I'm repeating myself. I said that before, but so it's rare to happen. And that's and it's so when you start thinking that way, and yes, yeah, that echoes your thoughts,
Mhm.
and that's a very nice thing.
If you had to give some words of wisdom for people to kind of tap into that everyday opportunity, it's like there's an infinite number, 8 million. There's an
Hmm.
infinite number of ways to be grateful or find, as you said, joy or happiness. If you do something where there's joy or happiness, it's like, not that we're always going to be happy,
Hmm.
but it's not that you always have to do big things. There can be little things. So can you
Yeah,
talk about, for somebody who's kind of new to the concept, us Westerners, who are new to the concept, how we might, tap into that, get
right.
started with that? And
Yeah. Well, so if I have to say one thing, and the simple thing and easiest thing is that, basically the nourishing your sense of belongingness to nature. In order to do that, take a walk, put your shoes on, and go outside. And that's exactly what I did when after my mother passed away. It was massive, massive blow. I mean, massive. And I just could not do anything. It was just, I felt nothing, basic nothingness. And it was absolutely void. And then also, I realized that my whole identity was based on my mother because, of course, because she was the closest, as a child. As a child. So when I lost it, I just felt it's like a black hole. Just everything crumbled in. So I wanted to give myself a timeout. Big one. Big one. And it just moment of pause. And then what I did was just went outside. And of course, the first day was just, or first couple days, not couple days, I'm sorry, the very beginning, I just put my shoes on and went outside and basically came back because I just could not do it. And I just crying. But then, the gradually I just walked more. And then, and then gradually I started raising my face up a little bit, kind of thing. And then I started paying attention my surroundings. And then I saw the beautiful sky, the clouds are going, the moving, and the trees are gently swaying, ants are crawling on the ground. The rain, that's just basically, it's a beautiful thing to nourish more the plants and trees. And it was fall, and then the leaves are just changing. And the color of the leaves is just changing every day. And then I realized so that not only so I thought I was just absolutely alone, but then I realized I wasn't alone. When I opened my eyes, when I open my heart, it's I'm surrounded. I realized that I was surrounded a lot of lives. And and then it's a simple thing. Take a walk.
mm,
It just don't just bring it just take your iPhone out. Just leave it to the house. And then just don't wear, the earbuds or these things. Just take all that man-made
mm.
technology just aside. Take a walk, and then you will find a lot of stuff,
That's great
especially
advice.
beautiful things.
That's great advice. Now I have to ask about the kimono consultant. So how did that
Yes.
start? How did that start? And it's like, where can I get one?
Oh, where you can get one. I think, okay, basically you have choices. That there are many if there are many the recycle kimono shop, like say for example like Asakusa, one of the major tourist spots in Tokyo. There are several recycled kimono shops, so you can find that very cheaper price. But if you want to have your own, of course, and then you can order, or you can take out the kimono store. You can go walk into the department store, and then you pick the kimono, that the
Fabric.
fabric, yeah, the fabric, and then basically they measure you and then make one for you, and so it's a, it's a there's many ways to do that, and it's yeah, the thing is, okay, so I'm a certified kimono instructor, the consultant, and the but I started learning it a few years ago. Basically, the COVID-19 era, everybody's stopped, and and then it was just we couldn't do anything. So I thought, okay, so maybe it's the time to invest myself. Yeah, so it was a COVID time that I decided to learn kimono, because it was because everything got stopped, whole the society got stopped, and then so I had time, and so I decided to learn how to wear kimono. It's probably just kind of strange to hear, for the people outside the world, and the kimono is a Japanese, attire, and then why you have to go to school. But I, but I have to say, that it's a kimono. Kimono traditions are very shrinking. It's just that's what I actually learned from my classes. There's a lot of craft people involved to make a beautiful kimono. It's just a fabric for the the kimono, the weaving the weaving the things for the obi belt, and then it's not just two things. In order to wear kimono, there are other small things to wear them. And there's a lot of craft people. There's a lot of skill involved, and those people, those skills are actually shrinking, and it probably is going to get extinct. Just because kimono are expensive, that's one. And two is it's complicated to wear in a traditional way. It's easy to wear the Western clothes like I'm wearing right now. It just, slip it on. It just doesn't take a minute. Put in jeans, just no. So, and then also there's a lot of rules. If you wear the traditional way, there are rules, especially ties to the seasons, and also the formality kind of things. And then so it's a huge hurdle to do that. If once again, if you wear kimono in a very traditional way. Um, so but but I did it, and I learned a lot, and then so I basically I wear kimono almost like basically it's like every weekend, every week. I just try to wear it once a week, so that it's just fun. And then yes, I forgot what I'm because of like a kimono.
I should have asked you to wear it for the interview. Not that anybody could see it, but yeah. So are there different kimonos that you'd have for different um events? So you'd have if you're doing
Yes,
formal, you'd have one like for a wedding
yes,
or a funeral or a
yes,
business dinner or a family celebration.
yes, yes. Because all the stuff that you just said has a different level of formality.
Mm.
And then obviously the funeral and the wedding, that kind of stuff. That's the top, the formal thing. And then you wear the most formal kimono. And then you have like say, the nice dinner at the expensive hotel kind of thing. That's that's that you wear a kimono, you choose a kimono to match that formality, not the top,
Mhm.
like wedding or funeral, no, but just but not like casual dinner, a casual breakfast. It's just you match that up. The most casual one is called yukata. It's a cotton. It's a yukata. It's a cotton usually made of cotton, and then probably you will see it. Then you see it at when you see it, and when you come to Japan, because that's the one that the in the hotels provides you to wear as kind of pajama or relax attire. And then so that yeah, it's like a pajama or the robe, or you wear it in the summer festival, nighttime summer festival. It's very casual. So yeah, so you don't want to wear that kind of pajama slash bathrobe slash okay, the summer
To a
festival
wedding, that would be
to
bad.
wedding.
Bad.
Just no way. So it's a formality.
Oh, fun. Thank you for sharing that story. Okay, so where can people, I'll have contact information on the webpage, and it'll be on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. So where can people get a hold of you? And I'll make sure to include that.
Yes, so people can connect me to my on my Substack, the blog.hirokoyoda.com. Yes, that's the easiest way. I'm writing, I like recontextualize the Japanese, the Japanese culture in engaging fun way and for English readers. And so just please subscribe my newsletter.
Yeah, it sounds great. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
And I'm
Thank
glad
you so much.
the time zones worked out. Not too late or too early either way. So
Yes.
thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode of the Thought Echoes podcast, please consider subscribing, leaving a review, or sharing with a friend. It helps get the word out. Until next time, keep exploring the echoes that shape your world.